What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new rebuild, and today it is going to be PSG, but don't worry, we have got a bit of a challenge. They've got no Mbappe, and to be honest, I thought, do you know what? They've just brought in João Neves, they've brought in Doué, two incredible Football Manager players. Let's go over and see what we can do. We're going to cap the rebuild when we win literally everything in one season, which might happen in Season 1, Season 2, who knows? We are going to try and spend some money as well. If you do enjoy the rebuilds, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I will say right now, if this video does get 40 likes on it, I will be doing a Marseille rebuild, because do you know what, I'm a big fan of De Zerbi. So let's get into this, learn a little bit about PSG, and get into the first season. So this is going to be what you see when you see PSG in the game. Now, of course, as an actual team, we go into their club info, they are going to have a lot about them, which is really, really good. I mean, 4.5-star reputation, great training, great youth recruitment. The owners love the club. We know how much money they've actually got. It's an absolute joke. And going over to that history, you can see they have won a lot of trophies, but if you notice one thing, pretty much all of them are French competitions. They can't get the job done when it comes to European competitions, which is why they get known a lot as, you know, being that just French league powerhouse, can't do it in Europe sort of vibe. Well, today we are going to try and change that a little bit, and hopefully win one Champions League, if not two. Now, what I've done is, just to make it a little bit more direct and quicker for you, is I have gone over and actually got the tactic ready. I'm going to be using the Brazil 2024 tactic because I think it suits the team quite well. We've got really good wingers. Obviously, we haven't got Mbappe anymore, and as you can see by this, it's quite a big miss because we've got the likes of Kolo Muani who can score goals in this game, and I'm going to give him a chance to be the main striker. Of course, it does mean Dembele gets guaranteed football on the left, Asenio on the right, Simmons in the middle, Fabian Piera, Hakimi, Marquinhos, Hernandez, Mendes, and Donnarumma. Now, of course, by default, your likes of, where are they? You've got the likes of, I'm trying to think, for João Neves, sorry, doesn't even get into the team right off the rip, because he will for the first season, because Simmons is out on loan, but usually he won't even get into the first team. So I might consider locking in players. I don't really like doing that, but if Doué, etc. doesn't get into the team, then it will be a little bit unfair on him not to give him any game time. So they'll get game time, don't worry. I just want to see how that midfield works, because this is a player I will be keeping. I will be keeping Xavi Simons when he's back from RB Leipzig, because he is absolutely incredible, and I can just imagine a midfield of him, João Neves, Doué, ridiculous team. We've still got Ugarte at the time of recording. He, technically speaking, is still a PSG player, but who knows what will happen regarding that. Manchester United apparently are literally days away from getting that deal done, so that'll be very interesting to see. We've also got Ramos. Obviously at the moment he is loaning from Benfica, but will be joining us permanently. So again, between him and Kolo Muani, I'm going to try and not actually sign another striker, because these players were not cheap who they brought in, so I'm going to try and make the most of them. Now, I will say, if you are playing back home, you would have had a budget of £25 million. Of course, for us, it's irrelevant because we're not going to be looking to spend it. So what we're going to do is we are going to go right into the first season, playing in these 4 competitions, and we are going to be predicted, obviously, first place, which is, you know, obvious as it comes. Let's get into Season 1. I will say, of course, if you do like the rebuild at the end of this video, you can go over to the Patreon and get it in a download file. I'm also going to start doing this thing now where I will carry on part of an extra season for you and almost set it up perfectly for you to carry on, where I control the transfers if you don't like doing them yourself. So let's go over and get into the end of Season 1. With this team, we're a man down when it comes to the striker, but 2 midfield players up. Just to clarify this, I did actually go and sign Doué because it was not in this latest database, so I did have to go and make one signing, but it is a realistic one, so I will allow it. And we did loan him back out to Rennes as well, where he only plays 1 game, so I'm not happy with that. Have a little look. It would be rude not to, wouldn't it? How did Mbappe do? He done Mbappe things. Do you know what? Fair play. To the Trophy de Champion, coming in against Monaco, and I will say this was a very, very good fixture. We take the lead inside of 6 minutes, a great bit of play there. Van der Sar builds up, a great interception there from Ugarte, into Dembele, into the bottom left-hand corner, a great finish for him there indeed. As to be fair to Monaco, they are 2 goals down, but they don't just sit and take it. They bounce back with Mbolo to make it 2-1, but we're PSG. We've got the better team, we've got the better manager, we've got the better tactics. We come out and make it 3-1 in the 61st minute. We then go again, and it's a little bit scrappy. They end up winning it back into Golovin, who is a great player, to be fair to him, who gets a goal for them. We then go again with a great little set piece, by the way, which is why I always say go over and get these set pieces, because they absolutely cook. Dembele through into Kolo Muani to wrap up a 5-2 final. The Champions League, it was actually really good. We got to the final where, unfortunately, we did get dismantled by Real Madrid, and yes, I would imagine Mbappe scored. I don't want to see. I don't want to see what happened, but we lose 4-0. But to get to the final in the first season without having a real big first transfer window, I'll take it. French League, I wonder who would have won that. Of course we won that. We only lose 2 games, those games being against Marseille and Lyon, 2 of the better teams in the league, of course. And our players took over. We've got Kolo Muani with 28 goals, we've got Soler with 22, 3 players in the average rating, Donnarumma with the most clean sheets, and assist-wise, we are absolutely cooking. Now, what I will say is there was one disappointment in this season, because the Champions League, I'm not going to class as a disappointment, is the French Cup. Getting knocked out in the semi-finals, I'm used to seeing treble-winning seasons, but to be fair, this team here are not playing about this year. 6th in the league, which isn't great, but in the cups, they were actually really, really strong. So it's just going to be a double for the first season. Of course, going and looking over actually at the squad, seeing what's going on, you can see Kolo Muani is doing exactly what I want him to do. 43 goals, 35 for Soler, Dembele with 26, 21 for Marco, Xavi Simons had a decent season out on loan, same as Renato Sanchez, who I probably will be selling, to be honest. Piera had a good season, Ugarte 16 assists, 17 assists there for Hakimi, 25 and 24 for Dembele and Marco, so a real good set of core stats there for goals and assists from all of the players all year round. Now, what I will say is, contract-wise, I'm only going to worry about 2025. So we've got Kimpembe, he needs a new contract. Piera, I might give one more to. Ramos will be getting another one when he actually joins. Bernat, a player that has been at PSG now, it seems, for quite some time, played for some pretty big teams in his career. I think that is going to be his time to leave. Turnas, probably going to leave as well. But other than that, so far, we've not got to worry too much about any players leaving. Now, we have been given a budget of 86, maybe more, £104 million to go and spend. It wouldn't be a PSG window without 100 million minimum. So it's a lot of money to spend, and what I will say is there is still areas of this team we simply can improve. Now, if we actually filter by the best 11 now, we can see there is a little bit of a shift up. So we've got Donnarumma, Hakimi, Marquinhos, Kimpembe, Hernandez, Piera, Ugarte, Marco, Dembele, Simons, and Kolo Muani. Now, what I will say about this situation is I genuinely think the likes of the left backs completely fine. We've got Mendes, we've got Hernandez, really good backup. Right back, you got Hakimi and Mukiele, 2 real good options there. Centre-backs we're actually okay for, but we are going to try and set this up for you guys as well back home, where we're going to try and bring in some younger centre-backs to cover you for the future. So that might be an option we go down. In terms of the striker, Kolo Muani, he scored how many goals did he score again? 43. You can't complain at all, so we're not going to be replacing him at all. Let's get in to the second season. We'll make the transfers first. We'll go into the results. Let's go through and see what we can do, because everyone's performing quite well. It's hard to make the decision. We do have to remember we actually already had spent money, although it wasn't my signing. I'm not complaining, but we did already spend money with £56 million bringing in Ramos for this season. So I didn't want to go and sign another 5 players just to point that out. Now, we brought this guy in, Unai Simon, because he's one of the best goalkeepers in the game, and you understand why. He cost me literally nothing. So when you can get a goalkeeper like that, it does now mean we've got Donnarumma and Unai Simon in the team. But if we want to sell either of them, we're going to generate a lot of money, so it made sense to pick him up. And I've allowed myself one luxury signing. I thought, do you know what? If we're going to keep Kolo Muani up front, Dembele's going to be on the wing. I want a star left winger as well. Dembele can now go on the right, or vice versa. Yeremy Pino is going to come in for £98 million. I'll be honest, he wasn't my first choice. Rodrigo was, but they wanted £198 million, and that was simply not going to happen. So Yeremy Pino is going to come in, a star French league player, still only 23, looks really good on the ball, very quick, decent finishing as well, which I'm a real big fan of, and he just improves the team by quite some distance. Now, of course, we can go and see actually what he done in the first season. 34 appearances, 15 goals, 14 assists, and also 7.59 when it comes to the average rating. So he actually had quite a good season, and as you can see, that is all the business we've done. We had a few players going out here on the free. How many games did Unai Simon play out of pure interest? He played a total of 7, so he's mixing in there with Donnarumma, to be fair, in the French league. So let's go over and actually see how we've done when it comes to the entire picture. Well, the Champions League, we've taken a step back because we don't get to the final, we don't get to the semi-final, we get to the quarter-final, where unfortunately Real Madrid beat us again. Well, 4-3, it's not too bad. We bottled the second leg at the end of the day, but again, it's constantly the Real Madrid curse. Up against FC Lorient when it comes to the French Cup, and you know what, it's a very, very good start from Xavi Simons. Hits it on the half volley almost there inside of 9 minutes. We go again now with Ugarte through into Pino, into Kolo Mani to make it 2 in the first half. Going over to the second half is actually quite a direct set piece routine there, with Pino absolutely lashing it into the top left. Xavi Simons direct over the top, and again made to look so simple with one last goal there, an easy 5-0. So just about win the Trophy de Champion against Lyon. Do you know what? They're actually quite a solid team. Do come out and win the French League and nearly win all 34 games. We draw one game there, 1-1 against Lyon again. They are turning into such a good team. Our players, once again, I don't need to keep saying it, are absolutely incredible. Kolo Mani, top goal scorer, Xavi Simons second. We've got all players in the average rating. Dembele with the most assists. Clean sheets, we're not going to be there, but we have got 2 incredible goalkeepers. So what's happening here is not one goalkeeper. He's playing every single game, so they probably won't dominate that stat line. But that does mean we actually had a treble-winning season. All the French trophies, but as we are saying in real life, we can't get the Champions League done. So we're going to try and improve again because, of course, that is the main aim. But at least we have actually now done the French treble. And, of course, we have got the Club World Championship to play as well, which I believe we are now currently playing in. Now, as an actual squad, we can go and see 60 goals for Kolo Mani. He's actually somewhat carrying the team now. 32 for Xavi Simons. Jeremy Pino had a great entry season. 23 goals and 21 assists. 21 and 31 for Dembele. It's so refreshing to see him not getting injured, and he's developing into an absolute gem. Same as Jeremy Pino. Ramos scored 6 goals. To be honest, probably couldn't get in the team. When Kolo Mani is fit, you are not going to drop a player of that caliber. Even the likes of Vitinha, a player we've not even really discussed too much, has come in and actually contributed quite amount of assists as well. So we've got some sort of random players in this team who, I'm not going to call him random actually, because it's a little bit harsh considering how good he actually is. But we have got some decent players. Now, what I will say is, in terms of the actual contracts, we're actually pretty calm on this, because we've got Fabian, Renato Sanchez and Mukiele. 3 players I would happily say goodbye to. The only one which I want to try and not let go on the free would be Fabian, because he still holds a £45 million value. So hopefully we can cash in on him. I will be honest, we have been given a budget of £194 million before we sell any players. So a lot of money to go and spend. I have got my eyes on 2 centre-backs already, so I won't ruin it, but we are going for some centre-backs in this third transfer window. Let's get into that after winning quite a good French treble and see what we can go and do. Did actually end up selling Renato Sanchez. He goes to the Saudi League, where, to be fair, we get 9.7 million back. It's still a loss, obviously, from what we compared to paying from Lille, but we were never going to get that money back. He's not really exactly been great, is he? So do you know what? Hope he had a good time in the Saudi League. Side of number 1 is going to be Gonçalo Iheanacho, coming in from Sporting. He is going to cost us a total of £40 million, which is quite average, to be honest. His first season, he played 9 games, dropped to 6.88. Nothing incredible, but you have got a player here for the future, 25 years of age, and again, a lot younger than the current centre-backs we have at the team. And do you know what? For that price tag, welcome in. And the real big signing is going to bring in Castillo Lucabella, coming in from RB Leipzig. I signed him again in a recent rebuild. He was so good, I had to do it again. He cost me a total of 100 million, but he played 32 games, 3 goals, 1 assist, and a 7.3 average rating. He's a player that stays fit, he's young, he's quick, he's got great tackling, good marking, everything you would want for a centre-back, and if you really need it, he can also play as a left-back as well. And that was literally the only business we done. As you can see, same page here, no one else apart from these 2 new names we mentioned. On this page, purely departures, so a real strong sort of transfer window in my opinion. We lost Sanchez, we could afford to lose a midfield player, and we have strengthened the back line tenfold. I'm going to kick things off by winning the Trophy de Champion, 2-0 over Rennes this time, a bit more of a comfortable final. French Cup against Marseille I thought was going to be a lot harder, but we make it 1-0 in 29 minutes. Ugarte finds Vitinha here just after the first time whistle, into Kolo Mani in the bottom right, and we just carry on. Nice and simple, another 10 minutes played on the clock. Vitinha goes through to make it 3, and they had no answer at all as they concede again 3 minutes after that previous goal, through to Marco, into the bottom left-hand corner. A player who, by the way, I'm a massive fan of in real life and in the game. Got to keep him in the team, as Pino wraps it up 5-0. We're going to blitz the league. It's no real surprise anymore. Kolo Muani, again, top goal scorer. If I'm not mistaken, he has got that every single season so far. 3 plays in the average rating, 3 plays in the most assists, and on this occasion, Donnarumma also picking up the most amount of clean sheets. But of course, the big question is, how did we do in the Champions League? Going to make it past the round of 16 this time, 7-2 over RB Leipzig. So that is a real statement being made. Then into the quarterfinals where we scrape, and I mean scrape, past Man City 2-1, which of course means we go into the semi-finals where we beat Aston Villa. Fair play for them to get in there because that is absolutely remarkable. We beat them 3-0 over both legs, and we're going to face up against Real Madrid. And we actually start 1-0 down from a penalty from David Alaba. We bounce back 90 seconds after with Hakimi, a ball in the box into Kolo Muani, who needs Mbappe, and we actually go on to win it in extra time, which means we've finally won the Champions League. That is right, the perfect sweep, the quadruple sweep, the French League, the Champions League, the French Cup, and the Trophy des Champions. A really, well, the perfect season, really. I guess the only way you can top it off is to go invincible in the French League, which of course is going to be your challenge to carry on with. Now, what I will say is, as a squad, we have got 55 goals again for Kolo Muani, 32 for Xavi Simons, Pino with 19, 19 for Marco, Dembele with 15, Soler with 15, 8 for Yagate, assist-wise 21 for Pino, Dembele with 18, loads of players here with loads of assists. Now, I genuinely feel this is going to be a really fun rebuild file for you guys to carry on with. So what I've done for today's video is I have noticed we have got a few players here that are getting old, so I have done, I'm going to carry it on in the video as well, just so you're not forced to go and get it over there, but I have done part of a transfer window for you to carry on with back home over on the Patreon, and also you get the tactic as well. Now, what I will say is, it's golden at the moment, you're winning everything, but you have got a big job as well. You have got a lot of players that are aging. Some of the contracts, you've got a lot, for example, in 2027 that are going to need to be negotiated. Nothing really happened for Doué this entire video. I don't like locking players in, and maybe I should have done, but I simply don't think it's a realistic rebuild then, because essentially you're building a start on 11 opposed to an actual squad, so you could simply just have 11 great players, keep them locked in, and you'd be golden. So I like to rebuild a squad, not just a start on 11. We have been given a budget, or you've been given a budget, of £178 million, or 176 if you want to get technical, but we are going to get into the 4th transfer window in case you do want to carry it on. If you don't, then hopefully you have enjoyed the video. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you are dipping at this point. Also drop a little comment on what you thought of the video. But let's go over into season 4 and let's see what I've done for you. That's right, we are going to go to the effort and make some transfers for you guys, so you will see on the Patreon 2 file names. Season 4 ready is this one, where you're about to go into the 4th season, and Season 3 end was last season. So if you want to pick it up and do all the signings yourself, you can do so, or if you like what I've done, you can pick up the rebuild file exactly from where you see it at the end of the video. Now, we have got 2 players that aren't confirmed, or they are confirmed, but they're joining very soon. They are going to be 2 real wonder kids for the future. So I have gone and really future-proofed your team, basically. The first one is going to be Eduardo Felipe. He just looks an incredible winger. He's 17. He's capped at the under-23 level of Brazil, and he just looks absolutely nuts. I mean, his ability is through the absolute roof. He's already got some real key attributes: great balance, good jumping, good flair. Of course, he is Brazilian. He's quite quick already, and I just think at the age of 17, yes, you could loan him out. That would probably be a good idea. Train him. You're going to have another winger in your pocket to use, and for the price tag we paid of what? Can't even see it at the moment. What was it? We'll have a look. It was 13 million. It's virtually nothing. The next player, again, 13.5 million. We actually raided Flamingo, basically. That is going to be Diego Henrique coming in. Again, a striker option. And I looked at him and I was like, he's 17. His potential's through the roof. 14 acceleration, 15 pace, great finishing. Not much you can't really hate. Again, capped at the under-23 level, and for that price tag, you can't really mess it up. So I thought, definitely you're going to get him in. Now, I think you're going to like it. If you're a Football Manager player, you're going to like the next couple of signings. Sorted for right-backs, because Hakimi, he's not old, but he obviously is only getting older, so Fresneda is going to be in the team. You can balance their games out between each other, and just look at his attributes. He looks absolutely incredible. He cost me £41 million, but for right-back, you're absolutely sorted. And the last signing, I'll spoil it by doing it like this, is going to be Ronnie Bargi, coming in for Chelsea for 91 million. He's a Football Manager favourite. Again, the wingers, you're absolutely sorted now. You've got the likes of him in the team. You've got Dembele. You've got loads of players. You've got the winger, but obviously we just signed. You've got so many players that are coming up, and he's still only 21, and he looks absolutely crazy. So genuinely, you've got a great team to play with. You've still got a load of stuff you can try and aim for. So my challenge to you is to win the quadruple with an invincible season. Maybe you can do it with this team. Maybe you want to do it by yourself with your own transfers. You let me know. If you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll be seeing you in the next one.